Hello and welcome, dear goddess. Welcome to this week. Our topic this week is all on the moon cycles and the moon rituals. So I want to talk to you a little bit about those different cycles and what they mean, okay? So the new moon is really a time that you want to look within, and it's a time to set your intentions and what your heart's desire is. And so what I like to do for each new moon is to see what sign it is in and what that sign really means and what that sign represents. And so setting intentions that are in flow with what that sign is all about. So we had a new moon last week, and that new moon was all in Capricorn, which is very driven, it's very task oriented, and it's about getting things done. So I really suggested last week that we set our intentions around our goals, and specifically, how are we going to get those done? So you could set your intention, say you write down your 3 goals, and then you write down many steps of how you're going to achieve those goals. And that's perfect because it's the beginning of a new year and it's completely in alignment for what Capricorn is all about. So that is my recommendation when you're doing a new moon ceremony, is to first think about what sign this new moon is in, and then think about what you want to manifest that correlates, that corresponds with that new moon. Now, the full moon is all about releasing. It's a time for looking within, seeing what's not serving you, and really letting that go. Now, when we're working with either the new or the full moon, it's not really enough to just say this or to be aware of it. This is when ceremony comes in, and I love the ceremony aspect because where we put our attention, energy flows, right? So if we give it our undivided attention and put our all into it, so much more energy is going to flow towards it. That's why in this group, when we do these ceremonies together and we gather 3 or more together with the same intention, it's even more powerful. So since we just had a new moon, and I want to say that the energy of the new and full moon is strongest 3 days before and 3 days after. So you do have this little window when working with the new and full moon energies. But I want to take this opportunity to teach you a little bit about how to make a crystal grid so that you can do this anytime, okay? So I'm going to show you one that I made here. This is the grid. Sorry for the movement, but this is the grid that I made last week in the group for the new moon. Now you can switch this around for new or full moon, and I want to tell you, if you don't have all these crystals, it's perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay. I really suggest just tuning into your intuition and using what you have to start out with, okay? So some of the recommendations in working with the new moon energies, which is all about creating and manifesting your heart's desire. So in that, I have picked carnelian. This is a stone of creation. This stone connects with our sacral chakra. This is all about our female cycles and creation. And it has a very lively, energetic energy to that. Okay, so that is the main crystal that I have picked. Now, in the center of your crystal grid, no matter what crystal grid you decide to make, but in the center, it's best to have a point because you're drawing in the energy of the universe and you're drawing in that energy into your intention. The design of my grid is the flower of life, which everything grows and stems from in this world. When we think of a pregnancy and a cell as they first start to divide at that blastocyst stage, they're dividing in this pattern of the flower of life. So the reason I chose the flower of life, which you will get a handout as well, there will be a PDF along with this video, is because we're wanting to grow and we're wanting our intention and our manifestations to grow. And so that's why I chose this flower of life. And honestly, I use the flower of life for almost all of my grids because they all start with this intention that I am trying to grow. The center stone is the selenite point. I chose selenite because it has a very high vibration, it's very cleansing, and it helps to open up our crown chakra, connecting us to spirit and keeping us pure, keeping our intentions very pure and from the heart, which brings me to the rose quartz. Rose quartz I chose because we want our heart's desires and we want what's the best for us, not our desires from our ego, but from our heart. And so that is why I chose rose quartz. So I've gone over carnelian and rose quartz with you. Next, you see this circle around the selenite here. This is moonstone, and these two stones on each side are moonstone. Now, moonstone, depending on the color, is connected with our sacral chakra or our crown chakra. So I have this gray moonstone here, and I have this peachy cream moonstone here. And this will help to amplify our intention. This will help to amplify our